Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 228 based on novel. So let's start. After saying goodbye to Longju Emperor, Luo Feng and Dylan sat in the Bas Planet ship and left Wulong Starfield, heading towards Ganwu Universe country. Yangu Emperor was lying in his beast fur throne, looking ahead at a screen of information. Footsteps could be heard. A purple-robed man swiftly entered and bowed respectfully. "Lord." "What's up?" Yangu Emperor continued looking at the screen. "Luo Feng has left Wulong Starfield," he said. "Ah?" Yangu Emperor smiled. "This punk has finally left. I still thought he'd stay here in Rubbish Mountain forever." It's hard to blame him. An aboriginal, anything in Rubbish Mountain would be considered a treasure. "All right, you can leave." "Yes, Lord." The purple-robed man bowed respectfully and left. Yangu looked up at the screen. The information on it immediately switched into detailed information of Earth. This was the information he had sent someone to go gather. An aboriginal planet. He mocked, "Little punk, we may meet very soon." The Bas Planet ship was flying at 50 times light speed in the dark universe. However, to reach Earth, it would still take about 1 year and 2 months. Space travel was extremely dull. If that Yangu Emperor found out that I had acquired such a treasure, he'd probably be extremely enraged. Luo Feng lay in his cabin bed, looking up at the decor above. He thought of his earnings from Rubbish Mountain. 2 years' time, a total of 232 black fragments and 12 silver fragments, 1 shard. Combined together, it formed 2 complete black soldier armor, 3 extra black fragments, 12 silver fragments and 1 shard. This soldier armor gave one the strength of an undying. It was an extremely heavenly item. In terms of price, even tens of millions of mixed elements wouldn't be able to buy it. It was a pity that this mysterious armor, most of humanity was unable to use it, or even discover its peculiar abilities. Obviously it was a battle armor for another race. Armor for another race, just which race is it? Flame God race? Or some other mysterious race? However, at least the words are from the Flame God race. Luo Feng muttered, "It's a pity my Mosha body is unable to use it, otherwise I'd definitely make another one for it." Wulong Starfield was simply too vast. A starfield with a diameter of millions of light years. Luo Feng's 2 years in the sector was probably not even a trillionth of the entire place. Yet he already acquired 2 complete soldier armor sets. If he spent more time, he would definitely get even more. However, he wanted to spend more time on training. "After a while more, I should head towards Primal Chaos City to train. There I get to visibly see the universe laws, study the 9 universe tablet occasionally. My improvement will be shocking." Luo Feng thought, "I'd probably take a couple of hundred of years in there to fully comprehend the 108 wonders of space." Over 180 years in Beast God Canyon, Luo Feng had comprehended the 19 of the 72 most profound wonders. Luo Feng estimated that it'd take about 700 years for him to fully comprehend the 72 wonders. This efficiency was already much higher than Lian Luo spending 3,000 years in Primal Chaos City. If he was in there, it would be even faster. The main thing was Luo Feng had the Beast God statue etc. Hence the benefits of Primal Chaos City wasn't as important to him as to others. Within there, the main thing that attracted him was the 9 universe tablet. "My 3rd volume of the Time-Space Scribbles is almost done. I have to buy the 4th, however I require 1 million points. Where can I get them?" Luo Feng racked his brains. Buying the 10,000 soul control technique had already cost him a large amount of points. He didn't even have enough currently to buy Time-Space Scribbles 4th volume. As time passed, he had spent over 8 months traveling in space. Mail? Sitting in his resting quarters, Luo Feng immediately connected to the Virtual Universe network. Virtual Universe Yuxiong Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. Within his study. Sitting at his desk, he opened his laptop and swiftly opened the mail. Luo Feng squinted. The subject of the mail was Domain Lord level mission with the highest points. Highest points? Luo Feng held his breath. He had long heard of the legend of the mission with the highest points. The core members at Domain Lord level would sometimes get missions from the Virtual Universe Company, and these missions had different amounts of points, of which there was one that was supposedly the highest. Highest points for the Primal Region members. Naturally, the rewards for Primal Region members were much higher than the absolute beginning, Sky and Land and Last Phase Region members. How high is it? Luo Feng stared. The details were: this mission has the highest amount of points for the Primal Region members, Domain Lord level. The entire mission is separated into 4 levels. First level, highest points awarded 100,000, given according to the level of completion. If completion rate is 70%, points awarded will be 70,000, 70% of 100,000. Second level, highest points awarded 200,000. Third level, highest points awarded 300,000. Fourth level, highest points awarded 400,000. Extra reward, if all 4 levels are completed, according to the performance in general of the 4 levels, the virtual universe company will give an extra reward, the lowest being 0 points and the highest at 1 million points. Hence, the entire mission, including the extra point rewards, has a total of 2 million points to be awarded. Warning! Warning! Every level is determined by the level of completion. Minimum required completion for the first level is 80%. Only then can one proceed onto the second level. If one cannot reach 80%, he cannot move onto the second level. The entire mission would automatically end. Example, if completion rate of first mission is 70%, member would receive 70,000 points and the mission would end there. Damn! The requirements are so high, continuous levels? The points are absurd too, the highest being 2 million. Luo Feng looked at the mail and was completely shocked. It was absurd, as even the most dangerous of impossible level missions at universe level, Abyss Hell, gave only 1 million points. And this highest point mission was very peculiar. One had to continuously complete every level to activate the next. When the 4 levels were completed, there was still an extra reward, and this reward was according to the overall performance. The virtual universe company would determine how much to give. There wasn't a clear standard. After finishing the mail, Luo Feng looked at the subsidiary message. Its subject was highest point mission first level. Luo Feng gently tapped it and opened the mail. Its details displayed. The first level is the highest point mission's first step. It is also the most important step. This step will decide whether you move on to the next level. Simultaneously, it plays a crucial role in the final step of determining how much extra reward you will receive. Hence one has to seriously complete the first level. The details are: there is a slave trader organization in the Yangu universe country's Qilang Starfield, named Flame Wind. The Flame Wind organization has a total of 18 members in its upper echelon. Other than the normal slave trading, they also had many dark secret business dealings that went against the rules of the universe country laws. Hence, Luo Feng, you have to personally deal with all of them. Also, exact punishments on all 18 of the upper echelon. There are several choices for punishment: 1. Death, 2. Jail for 100 years, 3. Jail for 10,000 years, 4. Jail for 1,000,000 years. As to how you punish them, it's completely up to your decision. You can choose to jail them for 100 years or even simply dealing them the death sentence. All choices will be in your hands. When the entire mission is engaged, you have to maintain the synchronized broadcast with the virtual universe network. Everything you do has to be broadcasted. Only with detailed understanding of your progress and your punishment decisions will we be able to give the most accurate grading of your completion. When you reach 80% completion of the first mission, you'll be able to move on to the second level. If the 2 ND mission's completion is below 80%, the entire mission will end immediately. The final parts of the mail contains the Flame Wind's top 18 executives and their information. If you want more information, you'll have to request it from the Information System Department. Remember, from start to end, any killing, capture, punishment, everything has to be done personally by you. You cannot send anybody to do it. Your guards can only protect you, they cannot help you carry out the mission. Luo Feng sat before his laptop and frowned as he looked at the first level's requests, feeling how troublesome it was. This mission was completely different from his previous mission. Back then, his universe-level missions had a fixed standard and grading, e.g. acquiring 1 blood river stone or collecting several items. Even the hunting undying mission before, its highest points was at 200,000, yet its grading system was extremely clear and precise. This time, however, there wasn't a clear answer. Barbata, what's up with this mission? Luo Feng frowned. It is very strange. Barbata's piercing voice resounded. As long as you synchronize and broadcast all your actions, doing everything personally, capturing the 18 executives and exacting their punishment. Whatever punishment and how heavy, everything is up to you. How strange. And the process of this mission, whether it's a mass massacre or protecting the innocents from harm, there's no requirements at all. As long as you finish your mission, the company will give you a judgment of completion. Luo Feng nodded. No precise grading system. Slave trading and other dark business, this Flame Wind organization sure has the guts to deal in such matters. Luo Feng flipped through the information and shook his head within. This mission sure is peculiar. They even give me 4 ways to exact punishment: death, 100 years in jail, 10,000 years in jail, 1,000,000 years in jail. There's no exact number, this mission. Luo Feng frowned. He had to be extremely careful this first level, reaching at least 80% completion. Otherwise, this mission that reached up to 2 million points would immediately end. He sat before his desk and pondered. He then contacted the information department and quickly got through. Your Majesty, Luo Feng. A clean voice transmitted over. I just received the highest points mission. Luo Feng said, with regards to the first level's Flame Wind organization and its specific details of its 18 executives, strengths and living locations etc., send them all to me. How long will it take? It's already prepared. The clean voice replied, we are sending it over right now. Luo Feng nodded. An extremely complex mail with all the detailed information was sent straight to Luo Feng. The entire mail only had the words Flame Wind Organization as its subject. Luo Feng sat there and opened the information. After reading through, he realized the information they just provided was much more detailed than the mission mail provided. This? He really deserves to die? Luo Feng's expression grew uglier as he read, to actually be this sick when I was on Earth, especially during the Great Nirvana period, there were many extreme matters going on. However, I didn't expect that those matters cannot even compare to those of the universe. Corrupt, so corrupt. Countless warriors gave up their lives in the race wars to allow such peace in the 1008 universe countries. They sacrificed for peace. These warriors helped protect the entirety of humanity. With such peaceful lives, some with background and power, like kids with fathers who were domain lords in some lower-level civilizations, would instantly be tyrannical. After reaching star level and being unable to break through, without any rights to succeed the family, they get lazy without any goals and simply get corrupted. These rich people that have power but no goal, simply do many unbelievably terrible things. Cannibalism, eating infants etc., all these were no longer enough to even satisfy these people. Using all sorts of imagination to torture their slaves, and without any repercussions, they would feel empty again after torturing them, turning their gaze to the civilians after and torturing them too. In all, man's desire was endless, and the Flame Wind organization fulfilled these people's desires and satisfied them. If there were such people in my Luo family, if there's one, I'll kill him. If there were 10, I'd kill all 10. Such a state of corruption, it's better they be dead. Luo Feng's gaze gleamed with ferocity. However, humanity is simply too huge, their numbers are endless. If there are exceptional and elites, there would naturally be scum about. 18 executives, also known as the Flame Wind Organization's 18 board members. These 18 controlled the entire organization. Every 100 years, they would pick one of the 18 to take up the lead position. They all rotated this way. These 18 executives were Klaus, Domain Lord Level 9, he was currently living in Bas Planet where they nurtured slaves. Kevin, Domain Lord Level 8, living in Quilang Starfield's Quilang Planet. Benedict, Domain Lord Level 9, living on a tourist planet Fu-Di Planet. Pan 11, Sector Lord Level 3, living in the Flame Wind Organization's headquarters, Minor Planets Bay En. 18, Luo Feng looked at the 18 names and their locations, ordering Barbata calculate their locations and determine the closest and most efficient path. I don't want to detour. Yes? Barbata swiftly calculated and instantly replied, already done, Luo Feng, if you follow this path, the order should be Klaus first, Kevin, Pan 11, exactly alike with the order of the name list given. Luo Feng's gaze gleamed coldly as he smiled. Looks like the information department had considered my position well. Let's head out towards Bas Planet. They were originally headed towards the Gunwu Universe country's Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. The Yunmo planet ship slightly altered its course within the Dark Universe. It'll take about 5 months and 8 days to reach Bas Planet. After 5 months and 8 days. Within the Yunmo planet ship's control room, Luo Feng and Dylan stood there. The room resounded with Barbata's countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, universe travel. After a while, they returned to the actual universe. Through the external simulator, they could easily see the distant stars and planets about. Bas Planet. Luo Feng's gaze landed on the closest planet. It was a mesh of white and dark red. The white was the clouds and atmosphere while the dark red was the main color of the planet itself. It was Luo Feng's first stop, Bas Planet. Your Majesty, are you prepared? Dylan looked at Luo Feng. Dylan, remember, from start till end, you cannot intervene. I have to do this entire mission on my own. Luo Feng looked at the planet. His eyes gleamed coldly. As to what to do, I've already decided within. The highest point mission, it had thrown Luo Feng into a haze and confusion then. However, after considering for a while, he had almost fully understood. The geniuses of the primal region within the virtual universe company came in all sorts. There would always be the special ones, brutal, cold, gentle, kind, mad. There were countless different types of geniuses in history. Different personalities would have different ways of dealing with this mission. The brutal ones would probably immediately give them the death sentence. And the colder ones would probably just give the jail sentence to those that they felt the crimes weren't too severe. Different people would have different choices. They couldn't possibly simply tell everyone to always give the death sentence to everyone. Hence, this mission didn't have a fixed answer. It depended on their characters. And the details of the mission also said. This first level was the first step for the entire mission, and also the most important step. This step would determine if one would be able to continue to the next level. Also, it was the foundation for the extra rewards after completion of all 4 levels, hence one had to do it seriously. Main foundation for verification? Luo Feng thought that this was the main way for the company to determine the genius's character. There's no wrong answer. Everything was determined by the upper echelon of the virtual universe company, whether they favored your methods. If they did, they would give a high completion rate, giving up to 100%. Luo Feng thought, hence one had to keep open synchronized broadcast throughout. The Yangu planet ship continued to head towards Bas Planet. The upgraded F-grade universe ship couldn't be detected by the security system of Bas Planet. As it reached the atmosphere, Luo Feng and Dylan flew out of the ship. Luo Feng kept it within his internal world. Barbata, open the virtual universe network synchronized broadcast. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, it's already open. From this moment, Luo Feng's every move was recorded, his every action was observed. Dylan, let's go. Luo Feng said. 2 beams of light swiftly entered through the planet's atmosphere. With Dylan's undying capabilities, they naturally wouldn't be discovered by anyone on the planet. Bas Planet's east hemisphere, mountain ranges stretched for miles. Some of their peaks were already barren. It was obvious the high altitudes made it extremely hard for any life to survive there, and the lower halves of those mountains were covered in red trees and plants. The main color of the vegetation was all red, with many Aboriginal civilians walking through the inaccessible pathways, tens of thousands of meters of rocky and sloped mountain paths. It made the jobs of these people picking crops and herbs hard. The medicinal herb Rainbow Flame Herb was the main herb of Bas Planet. Slave training and trading of the Rainbow Flame Herb. The slaves were the main collectors of the herb. Every year each tribe had to collect a certain amount of the herb. The moment it was insufficient, a large amount of the slaves would be taken to be sold as punishment. And with the strong threat of the slave organization and the technology watching over the entire planet, there wasn't a single tribe that dared go against them. Dad, I cannot walk anymore, let's rest a while. Bear with it and go find more herbs. You only managed to find 92 today, less than yesterday. If this goes on, our family won't be given any more rations and we'll starve. The slaves walked among the mountains looking hard for the herbs. Rainbow Flame Herb was naturally produced in Bas Planet. It was troublesome to search for it. If one didn't know the way, they wouldn't be able to spot it easily. After all, there were simply too many types of plants in the forests and mountains. At this time, 2 silhouettes landed from the space above, fast as lightning, instantly landing on a peak. On that peak, one was in silver armor and boots. There was an armed guard on his shoulder. He coldly gazed at the endless land. Beside him was a black-robed bald man, his eyes indistinct, almost like a god from the universe landing on the planet. Those are the slaves of this planet? Luo Feng stood and gazed far into the distance. The Aboriginals' appearance, even their facial hairs, were all clear to him. Dylan nodded. According to the information, these slaves are the natives of this planet. The Flame Wind organization then bought the planet and they became their slaves. Many generations of slaves. With their talents, they have to search for these hard-to-find rainbow flame herbs. Standing on the peak, Luo Feng's spirit energy swept past thousands of kilometers around, clearly understanding the area. Over 1,000 kilometers of area, a total of 8,219 civilians. Luo Feng gazed down at the poor slaves, saying solemnly, only 12 of them are Star Traveler level, and the rest are student level normal people, and there are many surveillance devices about. Every action they take is being monitored. Slaves? Luo Feng said softly, my Earth almost became a slave planet back then too. Dylan looked at him. Luo Feng flashed and instantly reached over hundreds of kilometers. Dylan followed closely. Hundreds of kilometers away on a flatland, there was a wooden house that stretched forever. It was built with a very commonly seen wood. The countless other wooden houses gathered together forming a tribe. With one look, this tribe probably had up to 1 million residents. It was a huge tribe. Look! There's a ship. A ship is here. The Demon Palace ship is here. The residents of the tribe all looked up and gazed into the skies. Disc-shaped ships tore through the skies and approached them. These ships were completely red. On their bodies were the logos of the Flame Wind Organization. Every one of them had a diameter of 100 meters. A total of 10 of them appeared in the air above, making the many residents of the tribe hide in their houses and look through their windows. 10 disc-shaped ships gradually landed on the flatland. All the cabin doors opened. One person walked out of each ship, some as tall as 6 m, some with fangs and huge mouths, some were only 1.2 meters, some with big beards and messy hair, thick powerful-looking arms. These people were all dressed in uniformed armor and their arms all had quantum computers. It's the demons. The demons are here. Demons. The civilians all looked on with fear at the soldiers of the Flame Wind Organization. Every one of them took a disc-shaped ship here, all dressed in alloy armors and carrying alloy weapons, equipped with quantum computers. These were invincible demons to the residents. Even the strongest warriors in their tribe would be knocked down in one blow by them. Hugewood tribe's leader? The 10 Flame Wind Organization looked coldly at the slave tribe. The leader had special black scales. He roared, "Ask him to come out and meet me." Hurried footsteps resounded. Hundreds of people flew over swiftly. As they ran up to the Flame Wind soldiers, they all quickly knelt down, their heads touching the ground. "Greetings, demon." Hundreds all knelt there respectfully. Hugewood tribe, your collection of the rainbow flame herb last year only hit 70%, there's still another 30% to be submitted. Thus, according to the rules, 30% of your tribe has to come with us. The leading demon soldier said coldly, 30% of your tribe would mean 1,213,682 people. Have you prepared the name list? It's already prepared. Among the hundreds knelt there, an old man with a helmet said respectfully. Hurry up. The leader of the soldiers roared. Yes, yes, yes. The tribe leader immediately gave the orders. The entire tribe immediately rose up and hustled. All sorts of painful cries resounded throughout the tribe. Every year, whenever their collection of the rainbow flame herb was insufficient, they'd have to sacrifice some of their tribe people. According to their numbers and percentage, they'd have to give the same number of people. Those that contributed highly to the numbers could survive and even live their whole lives in the tribe. Those that contributed lowly would be sent to the Demon Palace, eventually becoming a slave, sold to other families on other planets. Their fates, naturally, need not be mentioned. Father. Big brother. My. All sorts of cries could be heard throughout. However, despite the huge numbers and struggle, countless years of habit had made them realize it was pointless to resist. They could only follow the rules. 1,213,682 of the tribe gathered and walked towards the disc-shaped ships of the demons. Every ship had a diameter of 100 meters, their thickness were also 30 meters. Enough to cram 30,000 to 40,000 slaves within. A total of 48 ships came this type, enough to store over 1.21 million slaves. These civilians all followed the pathways of the ships with the leadership of the robots within. They entered their chambers, cramming the rooms full. Every level could house up to 10,000 people, a total of 3 levels. They squeezed in 30,000 to 40,000 people. As they entered their chambers, they all looked back unwillingly at their tribe. Goodbye, close ones. Goodbye, tribe. Ha ha, I didn't expect your tribe to have a Star Traveler warrior. The leader of the soldiers suddenly laughed loudly. With a flash he became a blur and flew towards the distance, straight towards a very normal-looking wooden house. With a rumble, it immediately broke apart. Within, the youth roared and waved a blade at the soldier. The soldier extended his hand and broke the blade apart, immediately grabbing the shoulder of the youth. With his powerful genetic energy flowing, he made the youth shudder. The soldier seemed like he was carrying a little chicken as he dragged the youth, swiftly heading towards the ship. Dragon Lu! The elder of the tribe and the others were shocked. Dragon Lu was a true genius of their Hugewood tribe. His power grew very quickly and he could float in the air. One punch could decimate a mountain. However, before the soldiers of the Demon Palace, he still had no resistance at all. Even using their tribe's secret weapon, the soldier easily grabbed and broke it apart. Look at this punk, Star Traveler level 3, not bad. The leader of the soldiers laughed loudly. Without any training manuals, he actually still reached Star Traveler level 3. Captain, this punk can easily reach the Star Traveler if nurtured. He'll sell for a lot next time. Indeed, he'll sell well. The other soldiers of the Flame Wind Organization all said the same thing. Demon, release him, we can replace him with other people from the tribe. The elder head of the tribe said nervously. The soldier raised his hand. Rumble. A formless genetic energy came down and the elder immediately imploded. Fresh blood spewed in all directions. Even the others standing beside him were affected. His blood and bones pierced right through their bodies, some with holes left in their bodies, dying beside him. Silence. The other tribesmen were all shocked into silence. Your Hugewood tribe can get a new elder. He was too stupid. The leader of the soldiers said coldly, the last time your Hugewood tribe produced a star traveler was over 800 years ago. I guess you've all forgotten the rules. Remember, we will take all star travelers produced. Going against it means the tribe leader will die. This punk can reach the star level if we train him. His worth would be over 1 million of you normal folk. You even want to exchange him for others, idiots. The other soldiers all mocked. Without any guidance or resources, being able to reach star traveler level. With some guidance and pressure, he'd naturally reach star level, then he'd be able to sell for a high price. And these student level 1, 2, and 3 normal folk, they were cheap and not worth it. Even if 1 million of student level 9s were added together, it would only be worth about 1 star level for warrior. One could easily see the worth of normal people. The Flame Wind soldiers all laughed loudly. The civilians were all terrified by their presence. Looking at their people enter the ships, looking at the bodies and blood, they could only feel pain and fear. Rumble. Rumble. 2 silhouettes suddenly descended and landed on the ground. Silence. The soldiers that were originally laughing casually seemed to suddenly choke. They all stared wide-eyed at the sudden appearance of the two. It wasn't just them, even the civilians and members of the tribe all looked on with shock at them. 2 people, one in silver armor and boots, black short hair, his gaze cold. The other was a bald man in a black long robe, his gaze even colder and profound. These two, their formless pressure, caused all the tribesmen to shudder within. It caused the soldiers to be filled with fear. The soldiers all knelt down, incredibly respectful. They were all soldiers from the universe. They'd at least have some perspective. They were clear that if the pressure alone was this terrifying, the two before them were definitely absolute warriors of the universe, at least universe level, maybe even stronger. How could they resist? A group of star traveler level 9? 1 star level 3? Luo Feng's cold gaze swept past the soldiers. The tribesmen could all easily conclude. This mysterious black short-haired man, just the one in the silver armor, he was obviously much more terrifying than all the soldiers. We are members of the Flame Wind organization. Why has this lord traveled to Base Planet? If there's any matters, our great Lord Klaus is currently here. We can report to him any matters you have. The leading soldier's forehead was perspiring profusely, speaking with fear. The tribesmen of the Hugewood tribe all looked on with shock at this scene. That powerful soldier, he was so weak and small now. That mysterious black short-haired youth, just what level of being was he? No need, I will personally go look for him. Luo Feng said coldly. Simultaneously his spirit energy passed through that leading soldier's body and he began to search his soul. With Luo Feng's control in his soul techniques, it was no weaker than a sector lord's touch. Against a star level 3 warrior, a soul search was simple. In an instant, he knew from the memories he searched through just how corrupt these group of scum were. All of you here. Luo Feng's gaze swept past the 10 soldiers, the soldiers of the Flame Wind organization, the ones called demons by the tribesmen slaves of Base Planet. They all looked on with fear. I sentence you to death. Luo Feng raised his right hand. Tens of light beams shot out from his right hand, instantly landing on the soldiers. They all didn't even have time to say anything as they stared wide-eyed. Suddenly, rumble. 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 They all exploded open and became nothing but a mess. Their remains didn't even fly out randomly, they were all left exactly at where they stood. The tribesmen of the Hugewood tribe all looked on with fear at this scene. Easily killing a group of demons? What power was that? God! A person shouted from the tribe. Immediately the rest all knelt down and shouted in unison. God! God! Millions all knelt down and shouted, rumbling through the skies. Luo Feng and Dylan watched the scene. A warrior from the universe coming here and being called a god. The name God sure is worthless. Luo Feng thought, however, in terms of strength, Luo Feng was truly akin to an undying, hence this title was something he was indeed worth. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.